Yesterday's message, in my opinion, was one of the most important lessons that you must internalize to realize your full potential in life. Self-acceptance as we are right now, that's the key to healthy self-esteem. Seeing ourselves as worthwhile, changing, imperfect, growing individuals, and knowing that although we aren't born with equal mental and physical uniforms, we are born with the equal right to feel deserving of excellence, according to our own internal standards. Healthy self-esteem is perhaps the most important and basic quality of a winning human being. Winners have developed a strong sense of self-worth, regardless of their status. They weren't necessarily born with these good feelings, but they've learned to like themselves through practice. Self-esteem can't be bought, won in an arena, measured by a stock portfolio, or displayed in a fashion model's figure or an entertainment star's profile. Self-esteem is a profound belief that you deserve to be happy and successful. The simple truth is that if you have no internalized feelings of value, well, you have nothing to share with others. You can need them, depend upon them, look for security in them, but you can't share or give feelings of love and value to anyone else unless you possess these feelings yourself. After devoting most of my career to investigating the well springs of personal and professional success, I'm able to make the following statements to you with great confidence. You need to feel love inside yourself before you can offer it to anyone else. Your own sense of value determines the quality of your performance. Performance is only a reflection of internal worth, not a measure of it. The less you try to impress, the more impressive you are. What you show to the world on the outside is a mirror image of how you feel on the inside. Yesterday we asked you if you feel good about yourself right now, rather than having to prove your worth to others by some special achievement or accomplishment. I hope you are able to understand that your intrinsic values will motivate you to be your best, rather than trying to live up to others' expectations of you. The more you believe in your own worth, the more time and energy you'll want to invest in growing to become all you're capable of becoming. Dr. Nathaniel Brandon, a friend and colleague of mine, and a leading authority on healthy self-esteem, teaches that to grow in self-esteem is to grow in the conviction that we're competent to live and are worthy of happiness, and to face life with confidence, benevolence, and optimism. In this way, we're best able to reach our goals and experience fulfillment. To grow in self-esteem is to expand our capacity for happiness. If you understand this, you can see why all of us have a stake in cultivating our self-esteem, not merely those whose self-esteem is painfully low. We don't have to hate ourselves to learn to love ourselves more. We don't have to feel inferior to want to feel more confident. And we don't have to be miserable to want to expand our capacity for joy. The higher your self-esteem, the better equipped you are to cope with life's adversities. The higher your self-esteem, the more likely it is that you'll be innovative rather than ritualistic and tradition-bound in your work. And this ensures greater success in a world of increasingly rapid change. The higher your self-esteem, the more ambitious you tend to be, not necessarily in a career or financial sense, but more broadly, in creative and spiritual terms. With high self-esteem, you're more likely to form nourishing rather than destructive relationships. Since like is drawn to like, health is attracted to health, and vitality and expansiveness are more appealing than emptiness and exploitiveness. With high self-esteem, you're more inclined to treat others with respect and goodwill, since you don't perceive them as threats, and since self-respect is the foundation of respect for others. With high self-esteem, the more joy you experience in the sheer fact of being, in waking up in the morning and living inside your own skin. These are just a few of the rewards of self-confidence and self-respect. Self-esteem on whatever level is an intimately personal experience. It resides in the core of our being. It is what I think and feel about myself, not what someone else thinks or feels. No one else can breathe for us. No one else can think for us. No one else can give us self-esteem. I can be loved by my family, my mate, my friends, and yet not love myself. I can be admired by my associates, and yet regard myself as worthless. I can project assurance and poise that fools virtually everyone, while I secretly tremble with a sense of my inadequacy. I can fulfill the expectations of others and yet fail in my own. I can win every honor and yet I feel I've accomplished nothing. I can be adored by millions and yet wake up each morning with a sickening sense of fraudulence and emptiness. These ideas of Dr. Nathaniel Branden, which I have paraphrased, are powerful and proven. To win success without attaining positive self-esteem is to feel like an imposter, anxiously awaiting exposure. You see, the acclaim of others doesn't create our self-esteem, and neither does knowledge, skill, expertise, material possessions, a marriage, parenthood, charitable endeavors, sexual conquests, or a facelift. They can sometimes make us feel better about ourselves temporarily, or more comfortable in particular situations, but comfort is not self-esteem. The tragedy of many people's lives is that they look for self-confidence and self-respect in every direction except within, and so they fail in their search. When you begin to understand self-esteem in this way, you can appreciate how foolish it is to think that only by making a more positive impression on others, you can enjoy a good self-regard. You'll stop telling yourself, if only I get one more promotion, if only I become a better wife or mother, if only I'm perceived to be a good provider, if only I can afford a bigger car, if only I could write a book, acquire another company, one more lover, one more award, one more acknowledgement of my selflessness, then I'll be ready to really feel at peace with myself. You see, this is an irrational quest, and if you take it, your longing will always be for one more. When you reach the pinnacle of self-esteem, you have an inner standard for judging your performance. You're sure of what you can do, and the opinion of others doesn't hold you an emotional hostage. Above all, you have a very precious commodity called self-respect. If you wanted to state your personal code of self-respect, it might sound like this. I'm valuable because I was created with an inner value and worth. I don't have to earn it. I nurture self-respect as I understand and internalize my basic inner value. The value's there. I don't have to achieve it. I already have it. My challenge is to nurture and protect it from getting jaded or twisted by the values of a success at any cost society. If I can avoid the trap of trying to possess success or adorn myself with success at the expense of others, I can easily live with self-respect. It will be more important to me to do things to project my value, the marvelous gift I've been given, to other people. That is the primary motivation for being the best I can be. My worth is my word. I make commitments and I do what I say I will do. And this is more than just important to me. It is crucial. I say to others, I am valuable as you are valuable. We will make a value exchange. I will offer you the best I have and assume you will give me your best in return. People who see little or no value in themselves will not operate according to such a code. In fact, a code like this may be distasteful to them. Instead of being concerned with self-respect, they'll try to gain recognition from others through manipulation, half-truth, and show. The principle of feeling worthy and making others feel worthy is also a basic lesson to be practiced between loved ones. It's also one of the basic goals that I see across the globe as corporations everywhere pursue their search for excellence. The inner applause you give yourself when you succeed outweighs anything anyone else could ever give you. People who live with a good sense of worthiness in themselves and others are people who understand and believe in personal values. Mark McCormick is the author of the best-selling book, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. He's also the CEO and chairman of the International Management Group, the largest athlete representation and sports marketing firm in the world. McCormick virtually created a new industry, and he did it with the type of street smarts he so accurately depicts in his writing. McCormick knows how to read people, and here's how he explains his feelings about people who are overly concerned with the trappings of success. McCormick says that people can very often be impressed with outward factors such as glamour, power, and money, and can be overly impressed with these factors. The most successful people that I know, he says, are the least outward with their appearance of the money and power and the wealth that they have. I think so often that people in the entertainment business and indeed in the sports business are eager to impress with fast cars, chartered jets, fancy clothing, and telling how much money they made last month, and all that sort of thing. He says, I think that the inner qualities of people are far more important in a business situation than the outward appearances that they create. And I also think that those people who are overly impressed with the outward appearances are a little bit suspect. And I think one has to be very careful in dealing with them in watching how they're impressed. It's possible that only those with a strong sense of self-worth can afford to display a modest image to the community, and they usually do. But there's another side of modesty. Humility is serving others with value. Humiliation is when you tear yourself down in the process. And unfortunately, the issue doesn't stop there, because the person who does a good job at humiliating himself or herself may be equally good at humiliating others. Do you recall the times when a new kid came to school and didn't seem to fit in? Do you remember how the bullies persecuted the poor newcomer to pump up their diminished self-esteem, and how common it is today for internet bullies to attack others because they can remain anonymous? And maybe you're like me. You even remember being that kid. It doesn't get any easier when you grow up. Being a new kid on the block or a new secretary, salesman, computer programmer, it's never easy. Being the new neighbors in the cul-de-sac or the new couple at church or at the club is always a bit stiff and uncomfortable for all of us. Acceptance by our peers, our neighbors, and our colleagues is a real win. And if you don't believe it, try to go without acceptance from others for very long and notice what it does to your confidence, performance, and general feelings of self-esteem. Do you make people feel accepted? Or does your attitude to others reflect a sense of disapproval or disdain? We have perhaps no deeper-seated need than to feel we're part of something larger than ourselves, and that is being wanted, accepted, enjoyed, and loved by one's important to us. And as we said at the beginning of this message, the most important opinion you'll ever have is the one you have of yourself. And you've got to wear the gold medal within before you can put it around anyone else's neck. In the next message, we'll discuss the 4 components of self-esteem, which we refer to as the 4 legs of self-esteem. I think you'll find tomorrow's lesson very revealing and valuable. Thanks for listening.